the future of air conditioning is not that complicated if we focus on both benefiting the environment and maintaining a certain level of comfort, right? Now, with comfort comes convenience, and the central air is nothing but convenient, or at least it has been for as long as it's been the standard, you know? But if you actually think about it, it's incredibly inconvenient. It is an awful impact on the environment because of the sheer amount of energy it takes to use, and to produce that energy would mean producing the pollutants that come with it, right? The central air is also very inconvenient at the lower prices because it's not effective at all. It's currently 90 degrees outside and 87 degrees in my house with the air conditioner running full blast. We have a central air unit. It's not working. So all of that energy, all of those pollutants for an inconvenient system that does not work. And you might think that's just anecdotal, but it's a very common occurrence. It's so common to the point where nobody's surprised, nobody bats an eye. We shouldn't have to sacrifice comfort for convenience, or sacrifice comfort and we're damaging the environment at the same time. So then we move on to the smaller window units. Okay, they're more comfortable, they produce more air, they're more efficient in that manner, and they don't take such a heavy toll on the environment, but they're still inconvenient. They only cool a portion of your household, wherever that may look like, and they pose a danger. If you live or have one at a higher floor, you risk knocking it out, dropping it out, whatever happens, and it falling. It could hit someone or damage something. On the lower levels, you have to be vigilant about taking it in and out, making sure you prevent break-ins that way, along with the fact that it's incredibly inconvenient to even fit one in because you have to make sure it fits your window, right? It's not working either. Plus, they're leaky. You can't really control a leak, right? That's on the manufacturer or whoever designed it. But then we move on to a ductless system, a ductless mini split air conditioner. I'll tell you why that works. Visually, it's not the greatest, but that can always be changed. Visuals are the least important in that regard, right? What you could do with this is it doesn't go in a window, so you don't have to move it constantly, right? If you install multiple in a single home, you've cooled the entire home, right? Plus, they don't take up as much energy as a central cooling unit, right? It's a win-win in that regard. Now, if we look at connecting that to a smart home, connecting it to other devices, it becomes so much more convenient, so much more efficient, because you could set that up with a series of scanners that are tracking you walking in and out of a room. Of course, a scanner wouldn't be a camera, because that's a violation of privacy that's unnecessary for air conditioning. So if a scanner tracks when you're walking in a room and when you're walking out, then it knows that it can activate the unit that's in that room. So if you're only cooling one room at a time versus the entire household, you've reached a level of comfort and you're not taking the power, your benefit to the environment, right? Now you're thinking, but the rest of the home will be hot. That's the benefit of the central cooling, right? Well, if you set it up in a way where there's multiple units, there's a central control unit, as well as individual control units in each of the rooms, then you could come together with a system where the house is cool but not cold until you're ready for it to be cold. So if there's a minimum and a maximum temperature for the central unit, then you could say when the house reaches a maximum temperature, all the units kick in to cool the house together. And when it hits that minimum, it shuts off. Waits till you hit that maximum, cuts on, and it hits that minimum again. It'd be more convenient and more beneficial to the environment, because instead of constantly using power and constantly running to cool rooms that nobody's using, you could have that general degree of comfort throughout the entire home. And then of course with the sensors, you have your own level of comfort in the individual rooms. Now we can integrate that further into smart devices. That could be your Echo Dot, your Google Home Hubs, your cell phone, your Fitbits, whatever, and control each individual room remotely, which would create your very own level of comfort wherever you go. Let's say you're in your living room, your family room. You just want to cool it down a little bit. That's fine. You'd open your remote. I say open your remote because I'm assuming you're doing this off of your phone. You'd open your remote. You'd set it how you want it. That room would be cooled to your design remotely. And you wouldn't have to worry about the rest of the house being too cold or the air just running for no reason, right? Now, we could also take this a step further. You could integrate it with your smartwatch or whatever health tracker you've got, right? And what you could do is have it listen out for specific sounds, right? Maybe an unconscious muttering of, wow, it's hot, or, oh my goodness, it's kind of cold in here. And it would be powered by an external microphone because, of course, we don't want privacy violated by air conditioning of all things, right? So if you have the option to connect your external microphone, it can pick up on those phrases or key sounds like sniffing, snuffling, snoring, anything that would indicate a stuffy nose. Because while cooling is great, too much cooling will affect your health at some point, right? So if it's listening for those key phrases, those key sounds, like in the moments where you're not thinking of it, maybe you're asleep or you're just busy and you're moving and you don't have time to stop and adjust, right? The house will adjust for you. I think that would work a lot better than, say, the individual units or, say, upgrading your central units every so often, having to go through the mess to clean them and maintain them. And if we're thinking about power, wouldn't it be more, it's like lights, wouldn't it be more convenient to shut off the lights in everywhere but in the room you're in, rather than turning on all the lights in the house? And that's just my idea. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm just an optimist with an idea.